Hey everybody out there, this is Seto Kaiba from your Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat channel, and today for you guys, I'll be profiling for you my Cyber Dragon deck. I used to play Cyber Dragons back when they first came out for a short period there, but if people remember, a lot of my old school players will remember that Cyber Dragon at a time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Was actually limited to one because special summoning a 21 beat stick to the field if your opponent had a monster was considered too broken back in the day, so he was limited to one almost upon release. But I used to play with Cyber Dragons in a Cyber Dragon deck. I put the deck down way back in the day, and I picked it up once I heard about the Cyber Dragon structure deck coming back. I also played with Cyber Dragons in a very well-known old-school deck that me and my brother built years and years ago, which was called Cyber System OTK. I used to play Cyber System OTK back in the day until he got emergency banned. So for about a month and a half, I played this with my brother because we had all the cards on hand. And a lot of these cards in my Cyber Dragon deck that I have today are cards that I used to have in my original Cyber Dragon deck over about 8 years ago now. But without further ado, guys, I'll go through my Cyber Dragon deck, explaining all my card choices and the way I play the deck. So without further ado, let's get down into the deck, guys. First off, we run 3 Cyber Dragon. If you guys are wondering how many cards are in the deck, there are 40 cards in the deck. There's 14 monsters in total, but there are 3 Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragon is your special summon monster. It's your beat stick of the deck. It's your main beat stick, and it also helps you make level 5 exceeds, as well as fusion summoning when you have Power Bond in your hand. It's a very good card. Definitely run 3 Cyber Dragons. It's the namesake of the deck. Next, we run 3 Cyber Dragon Core. Cyber Dragon Core is your mini Stratos of the deck. It helps you search out when it's normal summoned. It helps you search out Cyber Repair Plant. Cyber Repair Plant helps you grab other Cyber Dragons. It's your Rhoda for the deck, Cyber Repair Plant is. But Cyber Dragon Core also, when you use, Machina Duplication, you can get 2 Cyber Dragons out from your deck, because Cyber Dragon Core, when he's out on the field and you activate Machina Duplication, his name becomes Cyber Dragon. So you can get 2 Cyber Dragon monsters from your deck and exceed into a level 5 monster. So he's a very useful card. He has low attack, but he has much value in this deck. He has a lot of good value in this deck. Next, I run 3 Cyber Dragon Dre. Dre is another beat stick for this deck, but he's also a level manipulator. So he helps you make your Cyber Dragon Nova and your Zen Mayo. So your Machina level 5 monsters. That's what Cyber Dragon Dre helps you out with. Very useful. Some people run 2, but I prefer 3. I've had no problems at 3. This deck has a low monster count, and this card really helps out. Next, we have 3 Cyber Valley. Cyber Valley is a mini draw engine for this deck. The Cyber Valley right here, if you can tell, is one of my hollow ones that I had from way back in the day. But Cyber Valley is a mini draw engine for the deck, and it helps you draw cards, and it's a very good card in combination with Machina Duplication. As you can already tell, Machina Duplication has a lot of synergy with this deck. You can get 2 Cyber Valley out. If you want to, you can make a Dollar Hand, a level 1 Exceed monster, but mainly it's in there for draw power and stall power. It's a good stalling card and a good draw power card. Next, I do run 1 Cyber Dragon Zwei. I just wanted to make the deck have 14 monsters. Zwei is a good combination if you have a spell, you go Cyber Dragon, normal summon Zwei, activate Power Bond, reveal a spell card, so he's considered Cyber Dragon on the field, then activate Power Bond, So it's a very good card. It's an 18 beat stick when you attack your opponent's monster. So it has its uses. I've considered it bumping up to 2, but at 1 it does very good. Then I run 1 Honest, and that will round out the monsters. 1 Honest works well in the deck because you have all light targets. Everything in this deck is lights. In the main deck, that is. Next, I run for your spells 3 Cyber Dragon Repair Plant. You always have to remember that you have to have 1 Cyber Dragon in the grave already to activate Cyber Repair Plant. But it's your Rhoda for your deck. You can search out all your combo pieces you need with your Cyber Dragon monsters. Very good card. It's a very good card because sometimes it can help you activate multiple Machina duplications if you have 2 Cyber Dragon in the grave and 1 still in your deck, but I'll talk about that a little bit later maybe. Next, to activate 3 Power Bond. This is what took me so long to make this deck, is I was debating running 2 Power Bond or 3 Power Bond. The Power Bond you see in the middle there with the gold lettering, that's one of the Power Bonds I pulled back in the day when this card was initially released in the TCG back in the day. So I've had this card for over 8 years. But Power Bond, I was wondering if I should run 3 Power Bond, 2 Power Bond, because it does have its upsides and downsides. But at the end of the day, after I talked with a whole bunch of my other Cyber Dragon players that play Cyber Dragon at my locals and other people that play the deck, we decided that 3 Power Bond was very good. So I run 3 Power Bond now. Very, very good card. Cyber Dragon, Twin Dragon, Cyber End Dragon, helps you get a whole bunch of good big fusion monsters out in the field. Next, I want 3 Machina duplication targets. People are going to say, why the heck do you run 3 Machina duplication targets? Doesn't it get cloggy? Doesn't it get, it's inconsistent? Well, first off, you have 6 targets in your deck for Machina duplication. Cyber Valley and Cyber Core. So you have those 2 monsters. Plus, I never seem to be able to draw into cards like Cyber Bond or Machina duplication, even though I have 3 of them in the deck. I don't seem to draw into them all the time for some reason. Also, when you have Cyber Dragon Repair Plant on the field, if you have a Cyber Dragon monster in your graveyard already, okay? So I have 1 Cyber Dragon, in my graveyard. I got another one in the deck, or say I use 2 Cyber Dragons up, okay, by activating Machina duplication with Cyber Dragon Core, and I still have 1 Cyber Dragon in my deck, and I have another Machina duplication and another Cyber Dragon Core in the deck, okay? You can spam the field more than once with Cyber Dragon's Core's effect with Machina duplication is what I'm trying to say. So it doesn't become a dead draw, really. That happens once in a while where you can use Machina duplication on Cyber Dragon Core more than once in a duel. It happens maybe once every 6 to 8 duels, but it does happen when you can activate it more than once per turn in combination with Cyber Dragon Core. With the help of Cyber Dragon Repair Plant by adding a Cyber Dragon back to your deck. Next up, I run 3 Upstart Goblin. No, I am not Patrick Hobaning. I just wanted to add the Upstart Goblins because this deck does run combo pieces. You need to get to your Machina duplications, your Power Bonds, all these monsters as quickly as possible. And you're not really worried about your opponent gaining 1,000 life points, because if they take a hit from just 1 Twin Cyber Dragon, they lose that 1,000 life points right away. Very good card. You just need a little bit of speed in this deck so you can get to your combo pieces, and Upstart Goblin works very well in this deck. I was even running it back in December and January before he even topped with Mermails, because I was just like, it needs some speed to the deck. So that's why I run 3 Upstart Goblins. It really helps the deck out, and don't worry about your opponent gaining 1,000 life points. You can easily take it away with this deck. Next, I run 2 Forbidden Lance, so when you get your Cyber Ends, your whatever type monsters you have out in the field that you have at the time, you can protect them. You can protect your Cyber Dragons, your Cyber Twin Dragon, your Cyber End Dragon, your Zenmayo, whatever it may be, you can protect it with Forbidden Lance. That's why you run 2. I also run 2 MSTs because people like to Fiendish Chain your Cyber Dragons, so MST works very well in this deck. Next, I won 1 Smashing Ground. I'll talk about this card a little bit later. It's the one card in the deck. It's the one card in the deck that I'm bouncing back and forth and testing other cards out. But I'll talk about that later on after I do the main deck profile. Next, I run 1 Dark Hole, 1 Book of Moon, and 1 Limit Removal. Limit Removal, the one you see right here, is actually the one I used to use back with my Cyber Cistern OTK back in the day. And I've had this card for a long time. But good staple cards. Do not forget that Limit Removal is a quick play spell, so you can activate it if your opponent tries to attack one of your Cyber Dragon monsters. I have used it in that capacity as well as using it as an offensive tool and a defensive tool. Also, this is so old that it says magic instead of spell card up in the left-hand corner. Next, 2 Fiendish Chains. We're going into our trap cards now. Very good card. 2 Mirror Force. You can run D-Prison if you want to as well. It's player preference, I believe, on that. Bottomless and Compulse. I would highly suggest to any player playing Cyber Dragons or wanting to play Cyber Dragons, do not run Solemn Warning in this deck if you're running 3 Power Bond. I'm just going to say that right now because you'll lose a lot of life points by giving, with the Power Bonds effect and all that. I'm going to say quickly after I go into the extra, we'll go through the extra deck and then I'll explain some of the other cards that I'm thinking about as you see over here. So for the extra deck, 2 Cyber Dragon Nova, the main boss monster of the deck, 2 Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 Wind-Up Zenmayo, very, very good card, 1 Pleiades, and 1 number 16 Volcasaurus. These are there if you go Cyber Dragon Core and with Machine of Duplication. Oops, my bad. Next, 2 Twin Cyber Dragon. You make these a lot. Sometimes you'll get 2 out on the field. 2 Chimera Tech Fortress. You don't have to run Chimera Tech Fortress, but I like running 2 because you can make it from time to time, and especially when you're playing against decks like Geargia, other Cyber Dragons, Gadgets, whatever other Machina decks you run into, this card really shines in those duels. So definitely 2 Chimera Tech Fortress. You got the room, I run 2. And finally, your last fusion monster is Cyber End Dragon. You can get this guy out in the field, and if you have a Lance, 3 Cyber Dragon out in the field, and a Power Bond in hand, and you got a Lance in your hand, make this bad boy, and it's really going to hurt your opponent, believe me. Especially if you got the life points to burn. For your Exceed monsters, 1 number 101 Silent Arc Arnor's Knight, 1 Black Ship of Corn, 1 Maestroke, 1 Gagaga Cowboy, and 1 Ghost Trick Dollahan, just in the off chance that you have Cyber Valley and you want to kind of run over an opponent's monster that's being annoying. You can have the opponent's monster's attack and run over it. You rarely go into this card, but it does come in handy. So guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed my Cyber Dragon deck profile. And before I end this video, I just want to say, like I said earlier when I was doing the deck profile, about things about like Cyber Altanon, Cyber Network, One Day of Peace, things of that nature, I was testing around with Smashing Ground. So Smashing Ground, at the end of the day, could either become One Day of Peace, Cyber Altanon, or stay Smashing Ground. I'm playing around with it, with those 3 cards, including Cyber Altanon. But the reason why I do not run Cyber Network in the deck, and me and my buddies, all my Cyber Dragon players that I talk to at locals, and other Cyber Dragon players that I talk to that play the deck, we pretty much came up with the conclusion that Cyber Network is really not a good card. You may think otherwise, and that's perfectly okay if you think that, but we found that taking the 3 turns to set up that card takes too long, plus the fact that it's very well could be MST'd. It blows up your back row. We like our back row. And lastly, you can't conduct your battle phase the turn it activates, which is kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, it is, in a way, Cyber Network is like a return from a different dimension, but it's a very well neutered return from a different dimension. It's neutered. It's not as good by no means. So it is a good card, but it's not a great card. So if you want to run that, go right ahead, but that's the reason why I don't run it. It really hinders the deck. That 3rd Power Bond I was talking about earlier, I added the 3 Power Bond. I was going back and forth between Cyber Network and a 3rd Power Bond, and I finally said, me and my friends decided, go with 3 Power Bond. It's better than Cyber Network. One Day of Peace, like I said, I'm bouncing back and forth with Smashing Ground and One Day of Peace, as well as Cyber Altanon and Smashing Ground. It's pretty much going to come down to Smashing Ground, Cyber Altanon, or One Day of Peace. I'm playing around with those cards right there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Cyber Dragon deck profile. If you have any suggestions for the deck or are confused about anything I said in the video, please feel free to comment down below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you all next time. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys.